Hi, I'm Miss Haley with the Huntsville Madison County Public Library, and for today's craft I'm going to show you a really simple Princess Leia headband. So this is Princess Leia from Star Wars inspired, and it's a bun hairband like her hair buns that she wears. So for this project you're going to need a pair of scissors, some Scotch tape. You could also use a stapler, however, for part of this. And one sheet, a full sheet of brown construction paper. Try to get a color that is close to Princess Leia's hair buns. There's a couple different shades of brown construction paper available, so you want one of the darker ones. But this is a really easy craft that is appropriate for kids of all ages, even littles. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off 2 strips along the length of this piece of paper. So this is the length side. So we're going to cut 1 strip, 2 strips. So we want them to be about a little bit more than 1 inch wide. This is going to be for our headband. And I'm not measuring at all. I'm just cutting a strip. If you want to, you can totally measure and draw a line across and then cut it out. You can do it that way too. But you don't have to be really precise for this one. Alright. So I have my 2 strips of paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape them together at one end. So I'm going to join my 2 ends up. They're going to overlap just a little bit. I don't have them overlapping too much, just about maybe 1/2 inch. And I'm going to put a piece of tape there. You could glue this. I find that glue doesn't hold up very well just because of the way a headband gets worn, especially by a kid. It tends to take a lot of abuse. And I just find that it doesn't hold together very well. So I'm going to tape it on one side. I'm going to tape it over here as well, just so we don't have any edges sticking up. I just overlap that. So now we have one long strip of paper. You could, if you don't have any Scotch tape, or if it's just simpler for you, you could also staple this, just 1-2 staples right there. I like Scotch tape because there's no chance that the staple can scratch your head. With Scotch tape, it's just smooth. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to want to join up your other 2 ends. But before you do that, you need to measure it. So whoever's going to be wearing your headband, you want to take it and put it around their head and find the position that's comfortable. So we're going to measure around my head right now. My head is big. So I need right about here. So I don't have a lot of overlap. I only have about the same amount of overlap that I had up there. But that's for a grown-up head. For a smaller head, you might have only this much. You might have a lot more overlap on this side. So that's okay. Just wherever your overlap needs to be. Measure it up against whoever's going to wear it and go ahead and tape it together. Okay, and don't worry about that tape showing. We're going to put our hair buns over that tape, so it's not going to show from the outside. So we have our headband part made. We can set that aside. Now it is time to make our buns. So what I'm going to do with this last piece of paper, and this is the remaining part from that we cut the headband from, I'm going to fold it over in half lengthwise. Like that. And I'm going to cut a circle out of it. I'm going to make that circle as big as I want my bun to be. So, however big you want your bun to be. But by folding it over like this, we'll get 2. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to freehand it, so it's definitely not going to be a perfect circle. But it'll be close. It'll be circle shaped. And I'm going to cut out a circle. And you can cut off little pieces if you have like a really wonky side. You can cut off a piece, or if there's a spot where it turned out to be kind of flat, you can round it off. Set our scraps aside here. So you should, once you've cut out your circle from that folded piece, you should have, in fact, 2 circles. So the next thing you're going to do, I'm going to keep mine stacked together, but you can do this separately as well. You can do one circle and then the other circle. You don't have to stack them together. But we're going to cut a spiral into this so that you can glue it like this. You could take this and you could put a piece of tape on the back of it and tape it to your headband and just have a solid circle as your bun. If you want, you may do that. But if you want it to just look a little bit more bun-like, we're going to cut a spiral into it. And to cut a spiral, you're going to start here, and you're never going to cut through. You don't want to cut anything off of this. So you're going to start here, and you're just going to cut around and around. And if it helps you, I'll go ahead and draw one on here. Let me get a pen. If it helps you, you can draw your spiral on there. So start right there. Like that. And then that gives you a place to cut. You can cut along that line if that is helpful for you rather than just eyeballing it. And then when you tape it to your headband, just make sure that the pin side is taped facing in towards your head and nobody will see it. Nobody will ever know that you drew that on there. But you don't have to. So we're going to just cut along that line or as close as we can. We're not cutting anything off, so the line is going to be visible probably, unless we're very precise. As you're getting towards the center, make sure you can see how it's kind of caught. Make sure you kind of reposition that end so you don't accidentally cut through it. I'm not cutting all the way to the tips, but better safe than sorry. All right. So now I have untangle them to spiral shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape, and you can also staple this, but I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to fold it into a circle like that, and I'm going to put it on the center part of the bun. So that would be this part right here. I'm going to just put it right there. I'm going to do that on both. I'm getting a pretty big piece of tape. I'm getting a generously sized piece of tape, not a tiny one, just because we want plenty of tape there to stick it down. It's the only thing that's holding our bun to our headband, so, you know, we want plenty. If it falls off, just add another piece of tape and put it back on. So I like to attach mine so that the outside part of the spiral is down, because if I attach it so that it's up, it kind of does this. And I don't want it to do that. So we want gravity to work with us. And we're going to attach it so that the bottom part of our spiral is down. So I'm going to tape that to the side of my headband. I'm taping right over the other tape spot. Those should be roughly across from each other. So there's one. And now I need to make sure that on this guy, the bottom part of my spiral is going in the same direction as the bottom part of that other spiral. That way I don't have two different headbands. So I'm going to tape it right here, right about there. I'm just pressing that tape down, and you should, when you're done, have a Princess Leia headband with two little spiral buns that you can wear. They'll cover up your ears, and they'll look in about the same position that Princess Leia wears her headbands. Hope you enjoy this craft. We would love to see pictures of you making it or of you wearing your Princess Leia headbands. You can share those with us on our Facebook, which is Huntsville-Madison County Public Library. Thank you.